Welcome to Damn Good Movie Memories with your host, Brian Davis. This podcast is the cure for your long commute and super boring workday.
It's Groundhog Day!
Groundhog time.
1,000 people freezing their butts off waiting to worship a rat.
Weatherman Phil Connors is spending the day in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Phil? Ned Ryerson. I did the whistling belly button trick at the high school talent show.
Bing!
Bang!
But Phil's about to find out he's not just stuck in Punxsutawney.
Will you be checking out today, Mr. Connors?
Chance of departure today, 100%.
He's stuck
It's Groundhog Day!
in Groundhog Day.
I'm reliving the same day over and over.
Phil?
Ned Ryerson?
Bang!
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?
I don't think so, but I could check with the kitchen.
Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
At first, he was a little anxious.
Phil? What?
Will you be checking out today, Mr. Connors?
I'd say the chance of departure is 80%.
But now,
We could do whatever we want.
he's discovering the possibilities
Don't you worry about cholesterol?
Why?
and living life like there's no tomorrow.
Phil Connors!
Ned!
Because there isn't.
I am an immortal. I have been stabbed, shot, burned, frozen, electrocuted. I'm a god.
You're God.
I'm a god. I'm not the god. He's out of his gourd.
But to get what his heart wants most
What are you looking for, Phil? A date for the weekend?
means living this day over again till he gets it right.
Believe it or not, I studied 19th century French poetry.
What a waste of time.
I studied 19th century French poetry.
La fille qui j'aimerais.
You speak French?
Oui.
Bill Murray, Andie MacDowell,
To the groundhog.
I always drink to world peace. Well, what should we drink to?
I like to say a prayer and drink to world peace. Don't drive angry. Don't drive angry.
He might be okay.
Yes! Groundhog Day!
Life has a funny way of repeating itself.
What did you do today?
Oh, same old, same old.
Hey there, it's Brian Davis, and for this week's episode, we're going to cover the movie Groundhog Day from 1993. From 1993. From 1993. You get what I'm doing. The studio is Columbia Pictures. Release date is February 12th, 1993. The running time 101 minutes and was rated PG. The budget was approximately $20 million, and the box office took in $71 million, making it the 13th ranked movie of 1993. Roger Ebert at the time, he liked it. He gave it 3 out of 4 stars. Here's his review. There is an old belief that everyone is rewarded with the heaven or hell that he deserves. For Phil, the nasty, self-centered weather forecaster played by Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, that hell reveals itself one morning in the groundhog capital of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. The alarm goes off in Murray's bed and breakfast room, and he awakens to find it is Groundhog Day all over again. It will be Groundhog Day again tomorrow, too, and on the day after that. The movie is basically a comedy, but there's an underlying dynamic that is a little more thoughtful. Like Scrooge, Murray's dreary 1988 film, this is a movie about a grouch in the process of self-redemption. A supernatural force is showing him his weaknesses. Another movie that comes to mind is It's a Wonderful Life, although that film showed James Stewart how bad life would have been without his help. And this one shows Murray that people might actually have been cheerier without his contributions. Groundhog Day was directed and co-written by Harold Ramis, Murray's fellow Ghostbuster and partner from their Second City days. The film is lovable and sweet. If Scrooge seemed to reflect a dour discontent, this one is more optimistic about the human race. That's a mixed blessing, since Murray is funnier in the early scenes in which he is delivering sardonic weather reports and bitterly cursing the fate that brought him to Punxsutawney in the first place. Formula comedies are a dime a dozen. those based on an original idea, are more rare, and Groundhog Day, apart from everything else, is a demonstration of the way time can sometimes give us a break. Just because we're born as SOBs doesn't mean we have to live that way. That's the end of Ebert's review. So it's funny, as a kid, I remember enjoying Groundhog Day, but it wasn't my favorite Bill Murray movie. Ghostbusters was definitely number one, then Stripes, and then Meatballs, and sort of down the line. I guess Caddyshack would be number two, but it's not really a film starring Bill Murray, though he's definitely memorable. As I've gotten older, I enjoy Groundhog Day much, much more. Probably because I'm now middle-aged, and the themes of the film resonate more to me now than when I was 14. Alright, let's get into the making of the film. So by 1993, Harold Ramis was one of the top comedic writers and directors in Hollywood. He had directed two comedy classics with Caddyshack and the original Vacation. He co-wrote other gems like Animal House, Meatballs, Stripes, Ghostbusters, Back to School, and Armed and Dangerous. However, he had a bit of a misstep writing and directing the 1986 comedy Club Paradise, which starred Robin Williams. He also co-wrote the awful sequel Caddyshack 2. And while Ghostbusters 2 was successful at the box office, it really didn't compare to the first film. Groundhog Day became one of his biggest hits, critically and commercially. Even though Ramis had worked with Bill Murray on multiple films, as mentioned before, Ramis first thought of having Tom Hanks play the Phil Connors character, as he never worked with Hanks before, and he was a fan. Much later, after the film was released, Hanks told Ramis that it was better that Murray played the role. The reason, according to Hanks, was that his persona on screen was always to be a good guy. If the audience was watching Groundhog Day with Tom Hanks, the film would be sort of predictable, waiting for the bad to good transformation. You don't really get that with Murray, because you never know with Murray, when he's in a movie, if he's really a good or bad guy. Andie MacDowell had immediate chemistry with Bill Murray, which was key because the film doesn't work if they don't work well on screen. MacDowell was just a natural, according to Ramis. Ramis liked the Beauty and the Beast quality of MacDowell and Murray together. MacDowell had success in films like her debut Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, and a smaller role in St. Elmo's Fire. She was also in the critically acclaimed Sex, Lies, and Videotape. She was in Green Card and Hudson Hawk, but she never had a box office smash like Groundhog Day to that point. Co-writer Danny Rubin and producer Trevor Albert loved the premise of Time, but weren't sure this type of script would be mainstream enough to be successful as a film. Right from the beginning of reading Rubin's original script, Ramis was totally engaged. It had an indie movie feel, or at the time, a European film feel. The supporting cast was equally as stellar as Murray and MacDowell, because you have Stephen Tobolowsky, Chris Elliott, Rick Dukeman, and Brian Doyle Murray all providing key scenes of comic relief. Now, the biggest challenge was keeping the continuity of all the variety of shots that were supposed to be at the same time of the same day. For example, the scenery, weather, and extras couldn't change at all. So, if, let's say, there's 10 scenes between Phil and Ned, those need to be shot at the same time, otherwise you risk having issues with the continuity. Even though the film was a huge success for Murray and Ramis, it was bittersweet, especially for Ramis. This would be their final collaboration for the duo after years of amazing work together. Murray, by accounts, was very difficult on set, often throwing tantrums and arriving late. He was also going through a divorce from his first wife at the time. Now look, this is my own interpretation based on years of stories that I've read. I've never heard a bad thing about Harold Ramis in the press. And by all accounts, he was truly a wonderful guy that was very talented and great to work with. Now on the other hand, while many will agree that Bill Murray has amazing talents, as a human being, well, there's a mixed bag about that. For me, I believe the falling out had nothing to do with Ramis, but everything to do about Bill Murray. From different accounts, some say that Murray's ego got the best of him, and he resented that his best films were always with Harold Ramis. The guys often clashed on set about creative differences of the film. Ramis was going for more comedy, while Murray wanted to focus on the philosophical ideals of the film. Murray, after Groundhog Day, never spoke to Ramis, and never tried to contact him, and refused to speak about Ramis in the press. But it's said that he did end up talking to him before Harold Ramis passed in 2014. All right, let's get into the film. So it opens with TV weatherman Phil Connors, that's Bill Murray, giving a routine daily forecast for Pittsburgh.
Somebody asked me today, Phil, if you could be anywhere in the world, where would you like to be? And I said to him, probably right here. Elko, Nevada. Our nation's high at 79 today. Out in California, they're going to have some warm weather tomorrow, gang wars, and some very overpriced real estate. Up in the Pacific Northwest, as you can see, they're going to have some very, very tall trees. It's going to be clear across the Rockies and the Great Plains mostly, but look out, here comes trouble. Oh boy, front coming our way. Look out. What's that going to mean to us here in the Three Rivers area? One of these big blue things, this cold, frigid Arctic air, this big mass coming out of the north. It's going to meet up with all of this moisture coming up out of the Gulf, going to mix together at high altitudes and cause some snow. Going out on a limb now, not going to hit us here in Pittsburgh, going to push off and hit Altoona. Whew, close call, folks. Let's take a look at the 5-day. As you can see, nothing to be too scared about. Bundle up warm, of course, but I think you can leave your galoshes at home. I'm not going to be here for the 10 o'clock. Tomorrow is Groundhog Day, and I'm going out to Punxsutawney for our country's oldest Groundhog Festival. So, as you know, according to the legend, tomorrow, February 2nd, if the groundhog wakes and sees a shadow, we've got 6 more weeks of winter to look forward to, so keep your fingers crossed, huh?
Sounds like a lot of fun. You must really enjoy it. This is your 3rd year in a row, isn't it, Phil?
4, Nan. 4.
Thanks, Phil. Up next, entertainment editor Diane Kingman looks at sex and violence in the movies. Stay with us.
We're clear.
Have fun in Punxsutawney, Phil.
For your information, Hairdo, there is a major network interested in me.
Yeah, that would be the Home Shopping Network.
Thanks, Larry. Go wait in the van, will you?
That was nice, Phil. Big trees.
Stop, Kenny. Look, can you handle the 10 or not?
Yeah. Listen, if for any reason you don't want to rush back, I can do the 5 tomorrow.
Oh, come on. I want to stay an extra second in Punxsutawney, please.
Well, Rita thinks it would be a great idea to stay around for some of the other events, get some incredible footage. The people and the fun, the excitement. You haven't worked with her yet, have you? She's really nice. I think she's going to be a really good producer. You guys are going to have fun.
She's fun, but not my kind of fun. I will be here for the 5. Rita!
So that last scene was added after initial shooting was completed, as feedback from the film mentioned that people wanted to know more about Phil's life prior to going to Punxsutawney. The snarky remark about the Home Shopping Network came from Larry, the camera guy. That's Chris Elliott. The new producer is Rita. That's Andie MacDowell. Now they're off to Punxsutawney for Groundhog events. Both Rita and Larry are positive thinkers. They're happy with their jobs. But Phil, on the other hand, thinks he's too good for what he's doing and is generally a miserable person, which is unlike the shtick he puts on during his weather reports. He's totally fake. So on February 2nd, which is Groundhog Day, Phil wakes up at 6 a.m. in the bed and breakfast he's staying at. The clock radio is playing I Got You, Babe by Sonny and Cher, then transitions to the wacky morning team. I'll play the rest.
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Babe, I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, 'cause it's cold out there.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach?
Not hardly. And, you can expect hazardous travel later today with that, that blizzard thing.
Oh, that blizzard thing. That blizzard thing. Oh, well, here's the report. The National Weather Service is calling for a big blizzard thing.
Yes, they are. But, there's another reason why today is especially exciting.
Especially cold.
Especially cold, yeah. Okay. But the big question on everybody's lips.
Yeah, their chapped lips.
On their chapped lips, right.
Lips.
Do you think Phil's gonna come out and see a shadow?
Punxsutawney Phil.
That's right, woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day! Get up and shake that hog out there!
Yeah! Come here, Groundhog!
Morning.
Morning.
You off to see the groundhog?
Yes, I am.
Do you think it's gonna be an early spring?
I'm predicting March 21st.
Oh, good guess. I think that actually is the first day of spring.
Did you sleep well, Mr. Connors?
I slept alone, Mrs. Lancaster.
Would you like some coffee?
I don't suppose there's any possibility of getting an espresso or a cappuccino this morning, is there?
Oh, I really don't know.
How to spell espresso, cappuccino. This looks fine.
I hope you enjoyed the festivities.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to.
There's talk of a blizzard.
Well, we may catch a break, and that blizzard's going to blow right by us. All of this moisture coming up out of the south, by midday, is probably going to push on to the east of us. And at high altitudes, it's going to crystallize and give us what we call snow. Probably be some accumulation. But here in Punxsutawney, our high's going to get up to about 30 today. Teens tonight. Chance of precipitation about 20% today, 20% tomorrow. Did you want to talk about the weather, or were you just making chit-chat?
Chit-chat.
Okay. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
Will you be checking out today, Mr. Connors?
Chance of departure today, 100%.
Phil? Hey, Phil? Phil Connors? Phil Connors, I thought that was you.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for watching.
Hey. Now, don't you tell me you don't remember me, because I sure as heck fire remember you.
Not a chance.
Ned! Ryerson! Needle-nosed Ned the head. Come on, buddy. Case Western High. Ned Ryerson, I did the whistling belly button trick at the high school talent show. Bing! Ned Ryerson got the shingles real bad senior year, almost didn't graduate. Bing! Again! Ned Ryerson, I dated your sister Mary Pat a couple times till you told me not to anymore. Well?
Ned Ryerson?
Bing!
Bing! So did you turn pro with that belly button thing, Ned, or
No,
what?
Phil, I sell insurance.
What a shock.
Do you have life insurance? Because if you do, you could always use a little more. Am I right or am I right or am I right? Right.
Ned, I would love to stand here and talk with you, but I'm not going to. See you.
Hey, that's all right. I'll walk with you. You know, whenever I see an opportunity now, I charge it like a bull. Ned the Bull, that's me now. You know, I got friends of mine who live and die by the actuarial tables, and I say, hey, it's all one big crapshoot anywho. Tell me, have you ever heard of single premium life? Because I think that really could be the ticket for you. Oh, God! It is so good to see you. What are you doing for dinner?
Something else. It's been great seeing you, Needlehead. Take care.
Watch out for that first step. It's a doozy.
Prior to running into Ned, which is the great Stephen Tobolowsky, Phil walked by a homeless man. Phil sort of went through his pockets like he was going to give the guy some money, but he doesn't. So Phil heads downtown to meet Rita and Larry to do his report.
Hey, Phil! Phil, over here! Where have you been?
It was horrible. A giant leech got me.
You're missing all the fun. These people are great. Some of them have been partying all night long. They sing songs till they get too cold, and then they go sit by the fire and they get warm, and then they come back and they sing some more.
Yeah, they're hicks, Rita. So, sleep okay without me? You tossed and turned, didn't you?
You're incredible.
Who told you?
Okay. It's Groundhog time.
Okay, on me in 3, 2, 1. Once a year, the eyes of the nation turn to this tiny hamlet in western Pennsylvania to watch a master at work. The master? Punxsutawney Phil, the world's most famous weatherman, the Groundhog, who, as legend has it, can predict the coming of an early spring. So I guess the question we have to ask ourselves today is, does Phil feel lucky? Then it's the same old shtick every year. The guy comes out with a big stick and raps on the door. They pull the little rat out, they talk to him, the rat talks back, and then they tell us what's gonna happen. Do you like your guys with the prominent upper teeth?
No.
This February 2nd at 7:20 and 30 seconds, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, prognosticator of prognosticators, emerged reluctantly but alertly in Punxsutawney, PA, and stated in Groundhogese, I definitely see a shadow. Sorry, folks. 6 more weeks of winter.
On me in 3, 2, 1. This is one time where television really fails to capture the true excitement of a large squirrel predicting the weather. I, for one, am very grateful to have been here. From Punxsutawney, this is Phil Connors. So long.
Okay, we'll try it again without the sarcasm.
We got it. Come on.
Prima donnas.
The man who makes the announcement is Buster Green. That's actually Brian Doyle Murray, who, of course, is the brother of Bill. Phil can't get out of town quick enough, but there's a blizzard, and traffic is a nightmare due to an accident. Yeah, that blizzard that Phil predicted wouldn't pass through. So because of the blizzard, the roads are shut down, and Phil will be stuck in Punxsutawney. He then goes back to his room and takes a cold shower, not by choice, mind you, because the bed and breakfast is out of hot water. He then goes to sleep for the night, hoping he can leave the next day. Well, anyone that knows the premise of this film understands that this next morning will be exactly the same as February 2nd, and will continue and continue.
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Babe, I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach? I don't think so.
Hardly. Nice going, boys. You're playing yesterday's tape.
Hazardous travel later today with that, that blizzard thing.
Oh, that blizzard thing. That blizzard thing. Oh, well, here's the report. The National Weather Service is calling for a big blizzard thing.
Yes, they are. But, there's another reason why today is especially exciting.
Especially cold.
Especially cold, okay. But the big question on everybody's lips.
Yeah, they're
Chapped lips.
They're chapped lips. Right. Do you think Phil's gonna come out and see a shadow?
Punxsutawney Phil.
That's right, woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day! Get up and check that hog out there!
Yeah! Ooey, come here, Groundhog!
What the hell?
Morning. To see the groundhog?
Yeah?
Think it'll be an early spring.
Didn't we do this yesterday?
I don't know what you mean.
Don't mess with me, pork chop. What day is this?
It's February 2nd. Groundhog Day.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought it was yesterday.
Oh.
Did you sleep well, Mr. Connors?
Did I sleep well?
Would you like some coffee?
Yes, please. I think I'll have a double.
I hope you enjoy the festivities. There's talk of a blizzard.
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?
I don't think so, but I could check with the kitchen.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
Will you be checking out today, Mr. Connors?
I'd say the chance of departure is 80%. 75-80. Excuse me. Where's everybody going?
To Gobbler's Knob. It's Groundhog Day.
It's still just once a year, isn't it?
Hey! Phil? Phil? Hey! Oh, Phil Connors. I thought that was you. My, oh my, Phil Connors. Now, don't you say you don't remember me, because I sure as heck fire remember you. Well?
Ned Ryerson?
Bing! Oh, first shot right out of the box. So, how's it going, old buddy?
Well, to say the truth, Nettie, I'm not feeling real well. Would you excuse me?
Well, you know, it's funny you should mention your health because you will never guess what I do now.
Do you sell insurance?
Oh, bing again! You are sharp as a tack today. Do you have life insurance, Phil? Because if you do, you could always use a little more, right? I mean, who couldn't? But you want to know something? I got the feeling you ain't got any. Am I right or am I right? Or am I right? Am I right?
I gotta go.
Phil! Watch out for that first step. It's a doozy.
Rita, do me a favor. I need someone to give me a good, hard slap in the face.
How's that?
Good.
If you need any help with the other cheek, let me know. I'm right here.
Something's going on. I don't know what to do.
Are you drunk or something?
Drunk's more fun. Can I be serious with you for a minute?
I don't know. Can you?
Yes, I'm being serious. I'm having a problem. I may be having a problem.
Rita.
It's Groundhog time.
See? I knew you were going to say that. I really feel weird.
Let's just do this, Phil. Then we'll talk.
All right, on me in 3, 2, 1. Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. And that must mean that we're up here at Gobbler's Knob, waiting for the forecast from the world's most famous groundhog weatherman, Punxsutawney Phil, who's just about to tell us how much more winter we can expect.
This is a riot. Oh, isn't he cute?
February 2nd at 7:20 and 30 seconds, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, prognosticator of prognosticators, emerged reluctantly but alertly in
The day ends for Phil with the same cold shower. Phil decides to try to game the system and stay awake before 6 a.m. comes around, but to no avail because he falls asleep. As expected, he's thoroughly freaked out going through the same day 3 days in a row.
Okay, now tell me why you're too sick to work, and it better be good.
Rita, I'm reliving the same day over and over. Groundhog Day. Today.
Okay, I'm waiting for the punchline.
No. Really. This is the 3rd time. It's like yesterday never happened.
I am racking my brain, but I can't even begin to imagine why you'd make up something like this.
I'm not making it up. I am asking you for help.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
I don't know. You're a producer. Come up with something.
You want my advice? I think you should get your head examined if you expect me to believe a stupid story like that, Phil.
Phil? Like the groundhog, Phil?
Yeah, like the groundhog.
Look up for your shadow there, pal.
Morons, your bus is leaving.
You guys ready? We better get going if we're going to stay ahead of the weather.
Let's talk about it back in Pittsburgh.
I'm not going back to Pittsburgh.
Why not?
Because of the blizzard.
I thought you said that was going to hit Altoona.
Yeah, I know that's what I said.
Phil, I think you need help.
That's what I've been saying, Rita. I need help.
Well, no spots, no clots, no tumors, no lesions, no aneurysms. At least none that I can see, Mr. Connors. Of course, if you want a CAT scan or an MRI, you're going to have to go into Pittsburgh.
I can't go into Pittsburgh.
Why can't you go into Pittsburgh?
I told you there's a blizzard.
Oh, right, the blizzard. You know what you may need, Mr. Connors?
A biopsy.
A psychiatrist.
That's an unusual problem, Mr. Connors. Most of my work is with couples, families. I have an alcoholic now.
Well, you went to college, right? I mean, it wasn't veterinary psychology, was it? Didn't you take some kind of course that covered this stuff?
Yeah, sort of, I guess. Abnormal psychology.
So, what do I do?
I think we should meet again. How's tomorrow for you? Is that not good?
Of course, the neurologist was played by Harold Ramis. Phil heads to the local bowling alley to discuss his troubles with the townsfolk, specifically Gus and Ralph, Rick Dukeman, and Rick Overton. Dukeman is best known for playing Tom Hanks' neighbor friend in The Burbs.
I was in the Virgin Islands once. I met a girl. We ate lobster, drank pina coladas. At sunset, we made love like sea otters. That was a pretty good day. Why couldn't I get that day over and over?
You know, some guys would look at this glass and they would say, that glass is half empty. Other guys would say, that glass is half full. I think you was a glass is half empty kind of guy, am I right?
What would you do if you were stuck in one place and every day was exactly the same and nothing that you did mattered?
Now that sums it up for me. Good luck. I'll drop you off. This thing sticks a little bit. You got it. Jiggle it.
Come on up here, pal. Come on, give me your keys, pal. Give me the keys. Friends don't let friends drive, right? Come on, stand up here. Take a deep breath. You feel okay? Really? Okay, you're all right.
Oh, whoa. You want to throw up here or you want to throw up in the car?
I think both.
Come on.
I really don't think I should be driving.
No, I don't either.
Watch you.
No, I'll watch him. He's not break anything. All right. Hey, let's not forget seatbelts.
Hey, who else could go for some flapjacks right now?
Let me ask you guys a question.
Shoot.
What if there were no tomorrow?
No tomorrow. That would mean there would be no consequences. There would be no hangovers. We could do whatever we wanted. Ah!
That's true. We could do whatever we want.
Hey, Phil, if we wanted to hit mailboxes, we could let Ralph drive.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Hey, Phil! No, I think they want you to stop.
Hang on. It's the same thing your whole life. Clean up your room, stand up straight, pick up your feet, take it like command. Be nice to your sister. Don't mix beer and wine, ever. Oh yeah, don't drive on the railroad track.
Well, Phil, that's one I happen to agree with.
I don't know, Gus. Sometimes I think you just have to take the big chances.
Hey, we're all getting here!
Yeah. I'm betting he's gonna swear first.
I'm not gonna live by their rules anymore.
I noticed that.
You make choices and you live with them.
My knee.
Let me handle this.
Yeah, 3 cheeseburgers, 2 large fries, 2 chocolate shakes, and 1 large Coke.
And some flapjacks.
Too early for flapjacks?
Well, with drunk logic and flapjacks, Phil decides to do some death-defying stunts and ends up in jail. But as you can guess, it doesn't matter because when 6 a.m. rolls around, it's back at the same bed and breakfast for Phil. Instead of being upset with reliving the same day over and over, Phil is now excited with his forever mulligan on life. He punches out Ned, like we'd all like to at some point. He eats tons of junk food at the diner, smokes like a chimney. But Rita is thoroughly disgusted by his gluttony. Phil decides it's time to pick up some local ladies with his day on constant repeat. His mark is Nancy Taylor, played by Marita Garrity. Every day he can learn something personal about her, and then use his knowledge to make her interested in him. And you can guess the rest. Eventually, Phil learns every minute detail of the day. But will Phil just go out of his mind, or will he finally figure out why this has happened to him? Will he continue on a destructive, possibly illegal path, or will he find a bigger purpose in this crazy phenomena? Now, I realize that there might be some folks that haven't seen this film, so I don't want to spoil the final hour of the film, but let me just say, it gets nuttier and nuttier. Look, Bill Murray has a ton of great films, but this has to be in the top 5 for many, including myself. And while the premise might seem boring to some, the genius of Ramis and Murray turned this into a modern classic. So if you haven't seen the film in a while, or never at all, I'd say definitely check it out. It's well worth your time, over and over. Now, there are a few fun deleted scenes that you can find on the DVD, like Phil bowling a perfect score, trying to hustle a few locals in pool, saving a little girl from being hit by a monster truck, and then sawing off the heads of ice sculptures of the Groundhog. All right, some fun facts. So during the scene where Phil kidnaps the Groundhog, who was trained but had enough of driving in the car, decided to take a bite out of Bill Murray's hand. Good thing Murray was wearing gloves, but the bite still did do some damage. Just so you know that the film was not filmed in Punxsutawney, but actually in Woodstock, Illinois. Michael Keaton passed on the main role because he didn't really understand the script, but eventually regretted passing on it. He would eventually work with both Ramis and MacDowell a few years later on Multiplicity. Screenwriter Danny Rubin wanted Kevin Kline to play the Phil role, believing he was a better actor than Bill Murray, but Ramis assured Rubin that Murray was perfect for the role. According to the Ramis, most of the time when he tried to explain a scene to Murray, Murray would just interrupt and ask, "Just tell me, good Phil or bad Phil?" Ramis said that the original idea was for Phil to live February 2nd for about 10,000 years. Later, he said that Phil probably lived the same day for about 10 years. Andie MacDowell asked Ramis if she could speak with her normal and rather heavy South Carolina accent. Ramis, of course, allowed it. While filming the Ned scene, Bill Murray noticed that hundreds of spectators who were viewing the activities were hanging around. He then went to a nearby bakery, ordered about 500 Danishes, and paid for them himself. He and Stephen Tobolowsky then distributed them to the grateful onlookers. Cher has stated in an interview that fans would send her letters saying that they loved the song that she made for the movie Groundhog Day, not realizing that the song was actually recorded in 1965. She also stated that the movie helped boost album sales because of the interest in the song in the film. Singer and songwriter Tori Amos was considered for the role of Rita. Harold Ramis and Danny Rubin considered including an explanation for Phil being stuck in a time loop. One of the possibilities including Phil having been cursed by a scorned lover or someone that he had verbally abused, but they decided it was best just to leave it a mystery. I agree. Someone who's never a mystery, and often on this podcast, and he's always great to have, is Stephen Michael from the Grown Up Rock podcast. He joins me to talk about Groundhog Day. Let's talk to him now, and then I'll be back next week to talk about yet another random movie from my DVD collection. Okay, we're back with Stephen Michael from the Grown Up Rock podcast. Welcome back, Stephen.
Deja vu, Brian Davis. It seems like we've just talked about this because, well, probably we literally have just talked about this.
It's true. It is true. And you can't see, we don't do a video podcast, but Stephen's little handle is Punxsutawney Phil. So I'm always glad he stays on point, you know?
And really, honestly, Brian, that's kind of wrong for me because, you know, here in the South, we have General Beauregard, whatever his name is. Beauregard Lee, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's our groundhog here. We have an actual groundhog, just like Punxsutawney Phil, that is not too far from where I live. He's down the street at this yellow, they call it the Yellow River Game Ranch, where they have free flying animals that they rescue, whether it's deer or bears. Yeah, and General Beauregard Lee has a little southern mansion, and I mean it is a little southern, like a replica of a southern mansion, and it's built right there on the campus.
This is why I have you on, because I had no idea about this. This is like, every Punxsutawney Phil gets all the publicity. He's like the A-lister, but I've never heard about this.
Yeah, I don't know if it's if there are others out there, but here in the South they have literally that's his name. It's General Beauregard Lee. And he has a small little replica mansion that he comes out of every year that he either sees his shadow or he doesn't. And that's where he lives, is at this Yellow River Game Ranch, which is roughly about 5-10 miles from my house.
I think this, if there was a sequel, this would have been the straight-to-video version if we got that one. Beauregard.
I mean, you can just picture him, right? He's got his little Confederate uniform on with a little sword.
That's right. That's right. The South will, but Beauregard will rise again.
The South
or
will
see his shadow.
Yeah, the South will rise again. The summer will have longer.
The summer will be longer. So I'm assuming you were a big Bill Murray fan prior to Groundhog Day.
Yeah, he's in too many classic movies for me, whether it was Stripes or Caddyshack or whatever. Yeah, I'm a Bill Murray fan. He does a lot of movies over time, and some of them are not, my favorites, but a lot of them were.
Yeah, and did you watch him on SNL at all at the time? Because he was kind of like the end of that classic era, with Belushi and Aykroyd and those folks.
Yeah, I think I was probably very young, but yeah, I think I caught the tail end. I was alive during that period of time, and just like I said, young, So yeah, I think I caught some of that.
Definitely. I mean, you kind of alluded to it. He's been in a ton of movies. His prime era, of course, is the 80s. You mentioned some of them. You had Meatballs, which was his debut. Caddyshack, of course. Stripes. Tootsie. People forget about Tootsie because he had a nice supporting role. And of course, Ghostbusters. Of those, what's your bang zone for that? For those types of films.
So pretty much all those movies, I can't picture him in Tootsie, although I like Tootsie. It's Dustin Hoffman that comes to mind when you think of Tootsie. But of all the ones that you mentioned, I like them all. I was a big Meatballs fan. Caddyshack, huge. Stripes, huge. And then some of the ones that were not nearly as big that I think are sort of hidden gems, a movie like, let's say, Quick Change.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that one?
I do.
Yeah, so some of those movies are pretty good, right? Quick Change with Gina Davis and him. And so he had just a lot of catalog. I love all the ones you mentioned, though. They were extremely big for me growing up.
He is definitely unique with his comedy style because he's so quirky. I think he just stood out from most, comedic actors at the time. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, he mirrored sort of Chevy Chase in the fact that they were both sort of quirky, both from Saturday Night Live, both had very successful movie careers. And from what I understand, both not extremely fun to work with.
No, exactly. And they hated each other too.
Yeah, they hated each other. I heard they're both very difficult to work with. And so very, very similar in that respect. They had, to your point, they had very specific styles, right? It was really all about the timing and delivery and the way that somebody like Bill Murray delivered things, because it was a lot of sort of straight-laced deliveries,
Yeah, nobody could really do it like them. Like, yeah, exactly. They were similar but different. If that makes any sense. Yeah. And which I always found, maybe that's why they didn't get along. They also, I think their egos are ginormous. Chevy Chase, especially. But the other couple movies that we could also mention, Scrooge was a big hit for him, which was basically a retelling of A Christmas Carol. What About Bob was kind of fun with Richard Dreyfuss. And then people forget, kind of in the 90s, Kingpin was great. He kind of had a side character with Woody Harrelson.
Right. Yeah, that was a great movie. Yeah, it was Woody Harrelson, Randy Quaid, and Bill Murray. I just recently watched a special about the It was the Farley.
The Farley Farleys.
Yeah, the Farley guys did that one, and I just recently watched something with them because Kingpin was considered a quote unquote cult classic.
Yeah, and they had a hell of a run between Dumb and Dumber, Kingpin. There's Something About Mary. I mean, those are all three classics of the 90s for comedy.
Yeah, sometimes I get those guys and the Coen brothers mixed up, they're both quirky but very different in their styles of movies, but I enjoy both.
Coen brothers are definitely darker and probably more serious, I think, if there is some seriousness in their movies. Sadly, for Groundhog Day, this would be the final partnership between Murray and Harold Ramis, because we talked about it. Murray has a reputation of being difficult to work with, whereas I've never heard a bad thing about Harold Ramis. So I tend to side with Ramis on this one. Murray definitely has had interesting roles after Groundhog Day. We mentioned a few, but they weren't at the same as his work with like Ramis, Caddyshack, Stripes, things like that. So what's your opinion on their relationship? And were you too bummed that they just really never collaborated after this film?
Well, I never thought about it from that standpoint as a collaboration between the two of them. Now that you kind of spotlight it, yeah, that's 100% true. And also true is the success that the two of them had together, right? I mean, Harold Ramis has made some duds, but a lot of it is good. And I just never really thought about it before, so I can't say that I was bummed, but sure.
Okay, well, so let's get into the film. On paper, premise seems like it could be incredibly boring. You're reliving the same day over and over the entire film. But look, to the credit of everyone involved, it never gets boring. It actually, if anything, it gets more interesting after each day. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's the case is that, the more the universe expanded and the more that he tried different things, that's what keeps it interesting. Otherwise, to a point, it kind of gets monotonous where it is just the same thing over and over. And that is the case in the early going, because until it gets going and, he starts trying the different things, that's when it really starts to become interesting.
So if you were ever in a situation like Phil Connors, that's Bill Murray's character, how would you handle it? And would you go through the same process he did, or would you do something else?
Yeah, I think I would go through the exact same process he did, is by process of elimination, trying to figure out, well, what the hell is going on, am I in a dream? I don't know. Am I somewhere else, which we'll get into at some point? That's a whole nother conversation, which I won't open up yet. But yeah, who knows? When I first saw this movie, or any movie that's similar, because this genre has become a genre into itself, where there's a few movies more recently that have surfaced that are a play on this, right? What is it? What is the loop? Is it simply a dream? Is it simply something that's going on? And if so, how did it happen? Is it a rip in the fabric of time? I don't know.
Sure. I maybe Donnie Darko's the alternate version of that. I don't know. That's definitely a darker film, but
one that comes to mind more recently is the Tom Cruise flick. What, The Edge of Tomorrow? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
I mean, that is sci-fi Groundhog Day, right? I mean, it's exactly it. So that's pretty cool. And then there was a more recent one on Amazon Prime that was, and I don't remember the name of it, but it's newer, and it's the guy from Chris Pratt. Yeah, it's Chris Pratt. And it's the same thing, which is almost a sci-fi kind of Groundhog Day type thing. So it's spawned its own genre, or however you want to call it, because it's not really time travel, or maybe it can be lumped into that, but it's something slightly different.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, it is kind of a bit like, adjacent to time travel, but also body swapping in some, like those were all the rage in the 80s too. So it was almost like this was a little bit of a unique take on that.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. That's okay. You would have to talk me into that synopsis, because there's really no body. I mean, it's the same person, the same individual is carrying out these things, whether it's all part of the loop. It's all part of this loop, and it's Bill Murray's character is Bill Murray's character throughout. It's not, he hasn't switched with anybody else. Same for Chris Pratt, same for Tom Cruise. So that one, you would have to talk me into that synopsis.
I think where I was going with that is, no, it's not literally they're body swapping. It's more of this surreal situation of nobody would believe what I'm going through type of deal. So like nobody would believe that I am now my parent or something like that. Whereas nobody's going to believe that Bill Murray is literally reliving the same day hundreds of times. And, because if you tried to, nobody would understand.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's
why I was going with that.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, so as a profession, is being a weather person a ridiculous job? I mean, do we really need weather people anymore?
Well, I don't know. You know what? As much initially the answer is no, but I say that, but I'm also the first one, even though I have an app in my hand and a phone in my hand, or who that I can ask that's listening into my conversations. I don't want to say her name because then she'll go off. But even though I have all that, I can't tell you that I don't watch the news for just the weather every damn evening. So I do. So so I don't know, go figure. And honestly, the local news here, the weather person is a dude. So it's not because it's a hot weather chick,
Right. That's right. Because that's the other thing. I think it keeps some people in work just because of attractiveness.
I like watching the once in a while there's a YouTube video with the topless weather girl.
That's right. They had back in the day when kind of the internet was still in its infancy, they had a thing called the naked news, and that was all the rage. Like, this is like the early 2000s. The other kind of job that's kind of passe now is like when they have traffic reports on the radio. It's like literally you have apps that are way more advanced than whatever 15 minutes, on the hour type traffic updates.
Well, it's crazy here, just how advanced a lot of it has become, because here on the local news, one of the reasons for weather people, we kind of kid about this stuff, but one of the important things with weather people is when you have serious storms.
Of course.
And of course, here in the South, tornadoes are a real thing, right?
Yeah.
We don't live in Oklahoma, but there are definite tornado threats throughout Georgia, where I'm from, where I live. But they can pinpoint on the news literally minutes. I mean, they strip it down to the minutes, and they'll have a storm that's moving in, and they'll have it zoned off per minute, saying, okay, in 5 minutes it's going to be in this small city, in 10 minutes it's going to be, and it's pretty damn accurate, because they'll have, my city as part of it, and it'll say storms should be showing up within the next 3-4 minutes, and damned if the trees don't blow and the lightning start and the rain pours literally on cue. They can definitely keep an eye and pinpoint a lot of that stuff, which becomes important when you start talking about serious storms.
Oh, totally. I think the easiest job would be like the weatherman in San Diego, just like in Anchorman, where you have Steve Carell playing Brick, who's just basically a moron.
Yeah, was it Brit something or Brick something, whatever his name is?
Brick Tamlin.
Yeah, that's it. He's like drooling out of the corner of his mouth half the time.
He's like, loud noises. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, what is the easiest job in the world? Weatherman in San Diego. It's 75 and clear, every day. So
yeah, pretty much.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the actors in Groundhog Day. So, of course, Andie MacDowell, who I always used to get confused with. She's in Stakeout, the one in Stakeout, Madeline Stowe. I used to get them kind of confused. They had a similar look. And then Stephen Tobolowsky. Stephen Tobolowsky, who of course is Ned Ryerson, and Chris Elliott, who's great. I don't know you. I always find myself saying like Ned Ryerson every so often. So I think, of course, the star of this film is Bill Murray, but like any other movie, you need good side characters to make this film work. How about you? What are some of your go-to characters in addition to Bill Murray in this?
Well, yeah, you kind of named them. I mean, if you think about it, this movie really doesn't have a ton of extra actors in it.
No,
you narrowed it down to the bunch. Now, Andie MacDowell, I get her, not her and Madeline Stowe. I'm more of a Madeline Stowe kind of guy, especially her in Internal Affairs. I think she was in Internal Affairs. She was. Yeah. I think that's who I'm thinking of. She was super hot in that.
Is that the one with Richard Gere?
Yes. And she was, if she was in that, she was super hot in that.
No, you're thinking of Nancy Travis.
Oh, Madeline Stowe wasn't in Internal Affairs?
No, it was Nancy Travis, who was also in, I think, 3 Men and a Baby. Never mind. She's brunette, though, so yeah.
She's also hot, but...
Yeah, she's good.
But anyway, back to the thing. Andie MacDowell, was she married to Tom Cruise at some point?
No, you're thinking of Mimi Rogers.
Who was his Mimi Rogers? That was his first wife. Yeah. She's the one that I was thinking of. That's correct.
She's the one that got him into Scientology.
Oh, before Nicole Kidman, right?
Way before Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. Okay.
80s. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So, and then Chris Elliott, I knew from the what was it, Letterman he was on, or
yeah he was. I don't know if he was a stand-up, but he was in a lot of he was definitely on Letterman.
He was a regular on Letterman, and then they gave him his own movie. You remember that movie Cabin Boy?
Yes, absolutely. 94.
Super stupid, but it actually had some pretty funny parts in it. So,
and he had a great character in There's Something About Mary as Woogie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Something About Mary. Yeah. And then Ned's been in so many damn things I can't even think of. He's almost seems like he's been in as much stuff as freaking Ron Howard's brother. Clint Howard, just a lifelong character, extra, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's right, and I think that's what's missing in films today. Is you always would have, in the 70s and before, these great character actors you would see all over in these films, and whether it be and also on TV, they'd star in this, they guest star in all these TV shows too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of went down the rabbit hole of Groundhog Day and like kind of the backstory behind this. Tell me what you discovered.
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick backstory to the listeners, which is usually when Brian comes to me with a movie, I like to watch the movie literally within a day or two of us discussing it, because I can't remember everything from a long period of time ago. It doesn't sit with me, especially when you're watching other TV and movies. Sure. So with Groundhog Day, I watched it a month ago. I didn't have a chance to rewatch it. So I said, let me go out to YouTube and let me just do some quick spot research, because a lot of times they'll have interviews with the actors that were on it, or somebody out there will be rehashing the plot or whatever it is. And so I said, let me go look. What happened when I did it this time is I went down this rabbit hole, because I kept finding these videos that centered around Groundhog Day regarding it as this big religious statement. And I was like, a religious statement? What? Bill Murray is a groundhog? It's what has this got to do with religion?
Right.
And I said, all right, well, sure, I'm game. I got another half hour to kill. let me do this. And I was like, I remember after finishing up a couple videos, I was like, holy crap, I had no idea. So one video that I watched basically was trying to find the hidden meanings in Groundhog Day, and how basically Bill Murray had died, and Ned was actually the devil, was Satan. And Bill Murray was caught in purgatory,
right?
Which is the go round of Groundhog Day was actually purgatory. And I was like, okay, and
because
to the point of
there have been movies like that in the past where you're kind of like, what was it? Heaven Can Wait with Warren Beatty, where it's basically you're trying to figure out if you're going to go back to Earth or not.
Love that movie.
Yeah,
that was one. Yeah. That was a childhood movie of mine. I remember watching that with my parents. Yeah, I love that movie.
So I can kind of see where you're going with that theory.
Yeah, but it got, if you go down, and I didn't go down every rabbit hole, but there are a lot of, it wasn't just one. It wasn't one video. There are several videos out there with just dissecting the movie and its impact on religion. Like it actually had an impact on religion. I'm like, dude, it's a movie called Groundhog Day.
Right.
That's a comedy with Bill Murray. You need to settle down, people.
You got too much time on your hands, man.
Because they were talking to one of them, they were talking to Harold Ramis and asking him about it, about the hidden meaning. So obviously this is a thing that just I never noticed or never heard about before I went searching.
Right. Right.
Because I really have no reason to go search out Groundhog Day hidden meanings except to talk to Brian Davis from
That's right.
Movie Memories.
But it is, that is the thing about the internet now. It's like stuff like this will go out in the ether and thousands of people will check it out because it happens to be on YouTube and kind of go with a theory where this would never happened before. I guess that there's kind of some fun in that. Yeah.
They even tried to break down like the religions, like Buddhism or Catholic or whatever,
sure.
and I was like, okay,
yeah, sure,
sure, go with that.
Well, one of the things I always like to do is like who was asked to be in this film instead of certain actors. One that was interesting that I think he could have pulled it off is Michael Keaton. He actually passed on the role because he simply didn't understand the script. He later regretted doing it. Do you think Michael Keaton would have been good in this role?
Yeah, 100%. I can see him in it for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one was Kevin Kline. I'm not sure he would have been as good, but maybe he could have pulled it off.
No, I could actually see him as well because he has. If you look back at some of his comedic performances, he can deliver certain stuff dryly. He did in Fish Called Wanda for sure.
True, and that's a great movie.
Oh, I love that movie. That movie's so fantastic. But anyway, so he has the ability to deliver some things dry, and I think that's what this character requires for sure.
Yeah. And I guess he could have played like kind of the asshole part of Bill Murray too,
Yeah.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up, where would this rank for you in Bill Murray's filmography? Like, is this in the top or is it somewhere kind of middling in the middle?
No, it's probably middling in the middle. There, all the movies that you mentioned at the top of this episode where we were discussing Bill Murray's, I like better than this.
Sure.
It's not that I didn't like this. I probably enjoy Groundhog Day more than, let's say, What About Bob?
Okay.
But there's no way that I enjoy it more than Meatballs, Caddyshack, Stripes, Ghostbusters. None of those did I enjoy it better than that. And that also may be a timing thing because all those movies that we talked about just now, those are earlier on in my childhood, whereas Groundhog Day came a little bit later, right?
And that's totally fair. And same for me too. And I would, again, I'm right with you. I would choose all of those over Groundhog Day. And it's not that I don't like Groundhog Day, but those are far superior.
Yeah, and I mean, we've said it. We've always said it. It's part of your it's part of your being as well as it's part of Grown Up Rock's being, which is nostalgia is always going to win out. Sentimental nostalgia will always win over everything. And it really doesn't matter whether it's twice as bad or twice as good as something. That just is what it is.
Totally. And we do this with albums too. You could like a bunch of albums, but you got to rank them somehow. Some are going to be your favorites.
Oh, yeah. I get that sense whenever somebody goes, yeah, The Elder is my favorite record. It was my first disc record. And you're like, okay, well, I don't really care that it's your first. It's not their best record.
No, I'm sorry for you, but it's good.
Yeah, sorry where you came in. That's unfortunate.
I can only imagine what you think about every other Kiss album. If that's your favorite.
Well, right. So you're never gonna convince me that Groundhog Day is better than Caddyshack or Stripes. It ain't gonna happen.
No chance. Well, thank you, Stephen, for doing this, and we're gonna have you again on real soon, because that's how it goes here.
There you go. Thank you, Brian Davis, for the invite. Now go relive your life 12 times over.
I feel like I do that anyway with this podcast, especially when I'm editing. You probably feel the same way too when you're editing.
Constantly.
If you enjoy this podcast and are an iTunes user, please do the show a favor and head on over to the official iTunes page for Damn Good Movie Memories. Be sure to leave a rating and a review. This will allow the show to appear higher in the algorithm and spread the joy of this podcast to the masses. If you are not an iTunes user, you can still listen and subscribe on Podbean at damngoodmoviememories.podbean.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook under our Damn Good Movie Memories page. You can also listen to a limited number of episodes on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and be sure to tune in next week for an all-new episode of Damn Good Movie Memories.